All right, let's talk about a rule that is so simple, yet it's so powerful that it could completely change the game for your business. We're talking about the 30-day rule, and I'm telling you, it's the key to unlocking some seriously limitless scaling. So let's just dive right in. Just take a second to look at this number. $106 million. Now, that's not a company's yearly revenue. It's not a valuation. No. According to our source, that's how much in sales was generated in a single weekend. A weekend. So you've got to be asking, how on earth is that even possible? Well, it wasn't some lucky break or a one-time fluke. It was the direct result of mastering one single financial principle, the 30-day payback period. And that's the secret we are going to unpack right now. But look, before we get to the solution, we have to get really clear on the problem it's solving. And it's a huge one. We're talking about something called the growth cash trap. It's this invisible wall that keeps most businesses stuck, never letting them get as big as they could be. Now, for anyone out there who's ever run a business, even a small one, I want you to really think about this. Does this whole cycle of spending money today and just hoping, praying you get it back sometime in the future, does that frustrating wait feel familiar to you? Yeah, this slide right here really visualizes that pain, doesn't it? On day one, your hard-earned cash flies out the door to pay for ads. Then, awesome, day 15, you make a sale. You're celebrating. But wait, the payment processor holds on to your money, and the actual cash, it doesn't even hit your bank account until day 45. That gap, that 44-day delay, that's the cash flow gap. And that gap is everything. It's the quicksand where your ambition and all your momentum just sinks. I mean, think about it. You can't reinvest money that you don't have, so you're stuck waiting, hitting the brakes on your own growth, all because your cash is tied up somewhere else. Okay, so how do you get out of this trap? Well, that brings us to the beautiful, elegant solution we're talking about today, the 30-day payback rule. It's not just some strategy, it is your key to breaking out of that cash trap for good. Now, to use this rule, you have got to know one number. You have to know it inside and out. It's your CAC, your customer acquisition cost. It's just the total amount of money you spend to get one new customer. That's it. You have to know your CAC. And here it is, the rule itself. It's so simple. Whatever you spend to get that customer, your CAC, you absolutely must get that same amount of cash back in your bank account in less than 30 days. And I'm not talking about revenue on a spreadsheet or profit. I mean cold, hard cash. So let's just walk through the loop, okay? Step 1, you spend your CAC, let's say it's $200 on some ads. Step 2, those ads work and they bring you a brand new customer. Now, step 3, and this is the most important part, you get at least that $200 in cash from that new customer before 30 days are up. It's that simple, a repeatable process. So, what happens when you master this little loop? This is where everything, and I mean everything, changes. It lets you build what is basically an infinite growth engine. It completely changes the speed at which you can scale your business. And this slide just illustrates that shift perfectly. See, most businesses are living over there on the left. Slow growth. Your expansion is limited by how much profit you have in the bank. But with the 30-day rule, you jump over to the right, to velocity scaling. And here, your growth isn't limited by profit anymore. It's only limited by how fast you can get your cash back. So you might be wondering, if you're not using profits to grow, what are you using? Well, you're using someone else's money. Our source cleverly calls it the Bank of Alex, but for you and me, it's something we probably all have in our wallet. A credit card. So here's the crucial insight. Your credit card has about a 30-day billing cycle, right? So if you can spend its money on ads, get a customer, and get that cash back from the customer before your credit card bill is due, you can pay off the card without ever spending a dime of your own cash. You've just created a perfect, self-funding, infinite loop for growth. Now, this all sounds absolutely fantastic in theory, but it all comes down to one critical action. How do you actually get your cash back in under 30 days? Well, it boils down to one single focus. You have to pull your cash forward. So how do you do that? Well, the source gives some really clever tactics. For instance, if you run a gym or maybe a coaching program, what if you charged a one-time initiation fee right up front? And what if that fee just happened to be equal to your customer acquisition cost? Another great idea is a layaway fee for a product. A customer pays a small, non-refundable deposit to reserve an item, and boom, that deposit covers your ad spend right away. The real key here is to get creative and re-engineer your offer. You have to ask yourself, what value can I provide on day one that justifies an immediate payment? Maybe it's a setup fee, or a materials deposit, or an express processing charge. The goal is always the same. Structure your offers so you get your CAC back on day one. Let's be super, super clear about the main takeaway here. Every single day that you wait for a payment to arrive is a day you are actively, personally choosing to slow down your own growth. The goal isn't just to make the cash gap a little shorter, it's to get rid of it completely. And that leaves us with one final question I want you to take with you. Seriously, look at your own business, look at your offers, your whole process. What is really stopping you from getting paid on day one? Because answering that question, that's the very first step to unlocking truly limitless scale. Thanks for tuning in.